What's up, guys? We are back, and I'm looking at some more MLB plays over on PrizePicks today. You guys did the like goal yesterday, which is why we have 3 plays in today's video. If you want a third play tomorrow, also be sure to leave a like on this video here. So we get to 175 likes again, I'll drop a third play in tomorrow's video also. We have now cashed 3 of the last 4 plays in this video, so we're going to keep cashing with some more winners today. Before we get to these free plays, though, don't miss out on checking out the DubClub if you have not already. The DubClub gets all of my plays sent straight to your phone, and also access to the premium channels over in my Discord. And we have been cashing out on these 6-mans all MLB season. I'll have some more up in the DubClub today. We have cashed about 10 in the last 7 days alone. 10 6-mans have cashed in the last 7 days over in the DubClub, and that's not all that's available. You'll just get all of my main plays sent to you. You get my 6-mans, like I talked about earlier, bankroll builder slips, underdog streaks, lottery picks for like home runs and RBIs. You also have my community chat to talk to me and other members, as well as my contributors plays from Asmies, Emo, Elo, Third One, and Nerdler. Asmies is some golf, Emo some WNBA, Elo is soccer, Third One is tennis, and Nerdler is some esports. You pretty much have everything right in this Discord here. And if you join with the link in my description or in the top in the comment section, you get access to a discount. There'll be a discount that pops up at the bottom of your screen. Click on claim to get access to one of 2 different discounts. We had a pretty nice slate with some very good weather, so I'm feeling pretty good about hitting a 6-man today. So don't miss out. Go ahead and join right now with the link in my description. And now with that out of the way, let's get to these free plays. Make sure to play responsibly at your own risk. Leave a like on this video here if you've not already, and let's get to these free plays. The first play like on the PrizePicks board for tonight's slate is going to be over in the fantasy score category here, because tonight I'm going to go with Andy Pais here over 5 fantasy against the White Sox today. I think he's in a great spot. He's been over this in 3 of his last 5 games, as you can see there. And I like the Dodgers offense a lot today in a pretty good matchup here against Shane Smith and the White Sox. You see he's had more than 5 fantasy score in 56% of games this year. And he has actually had at least 5 fantasy in 65% of games this year. If you're on another app out there, what I like is his over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Whenever I take a fantasy score on the over, I'm almost always going to like hits, runs, and RBIs on the over also. But I think the fantasy score is just a better spot, just pretty much in terms of hit rate. Like, he's been over his fantasy score in 56%, and that's not including the 65% if you include like pushes or better. And you can see here how he has been in wins this year, though. In wins, he's actually been over this in 61% of games. At home, over in 57%. But again, this is not really factoring the games where he's pushed either. Like, he's at least pushed in 67% of wins. Wins at home, also 67%, but he's been a lot better as of late. He's only missed this like 3 times since April 15th. So it's been a long time since he's, missed this one consistently. The weather's pretty good for Dodger Stadium today, and here's how the matchup looks against Shane Smith. He has a 290 batting average this year against righties, not too much of a difference between his 291 against all handinesses. Shane Smith, though, is worse against right-handed batters by quite a bit. ERA goes from a 3.38 to a 4.23, and his batting average allowed does get slightly worse. You see here, though, that he throws mainly the fastball, the changeup, and the slider. Pais has a 3-6 on-base average. Against the fastball, though, a 3.91. Changeup is a 3.11, and the slider is a 4.02. So he has a better on-base average against 2 of his top 3 pitches. A lot of reasons to like Pais tonight. Give me the over for either his 1.5 hit, runs, and RBIs, or his over 5 fantasy score on PrizePicks, which I do prefer. Before I get to the next play, if you've not yet seen Sleeper, it is, in my opinion, the best app out there right now, and they have promos all the time for current users as well as new users, as well as just typically offering a better payout than an app like PrizePicks potentially. Like, you see all the different plays that are available on this board here. But you can see here that they currently, for current users, because I've been on this app for more than a year now, you can see I actually have a 50% prop boost that I get until I win for a tennis pick, as well as a $5 protected pick for tennis also. So pretty cool promos that they got going on right there. And also, when you join, if you're a new user, you get a first on deposit up to $100 and a free square if you join using my promo code DOMG. Link to join will be available down in my description. But you can see that they could offer a better payout than an app like PrizePicks. Like, for example, if you like Joe Adell's on his over for his fantasy points, and maybe like Ronald Acuna under total bases, this gives a 3.2x payout right there. If you instead like Acuna's over, for example, pays out a 3.15x, as you can see right there. It's a really, really cool app. If you want it for yourself, get it for yourself in my description and use that promo code DOMG when you sign up, because it helps me out and helps you out. All right, getting to my next play here, we're going to head over to the fantasy score category, and this one can apply to a couple of apps out there, but again, sticking on the fantasy scores, but again, his runs and RBIs is also great on the over. I like Junior Caminero today over 6.5 fantasy score. However, if you have Underdog Fantasy available, or if you want to join Underdog Fantasy, is actually a better line here on Underdog. They both may be 6.5 fantasy points, But Underdog scoring is slightly different, and it's a little bit more favored for more fantasy points, so that kind of makes sense. Just know that he is more likely to go over only by a slight bit over on Underdog compared to PrizePicks, but I'm still fine with the over 6.5 on PrizePicks, just it's a little bit more likely to win, quote unquote, over on Underdog. We can see here that he's actually been over his fantasy score on Underdog in 51%, PrizePicks 49%, so a slight difference there. But overall, he's been over in 61% of games. I like the Rays offense a lot today. It is one of the best weather on the entire slate, especially for home runs. Home run upside, of course, for Caminero. And in wins this year, he's actually been over this in 67% of games. And in the last 20, 85%. Over in 17 of his last 20 games when the Rays win, as you see there. He does play lefty today, though, who he has been slightly worse against, but still a 226 batting average right there. Not super concerned about that. Jeffrey Springs, though, is much worse against righties in terms of ERA at a 4.74, so that's a little bit on our side there. Those mainly the fastball, the slider, and the changeup. 350 on-base average against the fastball, though, a 4.43, slider a 4.26, and the changeup does drop down to 2.74. But those top two pitches, man, he has been crushing. A 4.26 on-base average against the top two pitches is extremely good and exactly what we want to see. Caminero has also been a lot better in home games this year, like we talked about earlier, over in 51% of games, but at home, 59% right there. Nice little boost there, over in 75% of his last 20 games at home. So a lot to like today about Junior Caminero. Give me the over for his fantasy score at 6.5. We're going to stick with the same type of deal, and again, alternatives. You can go with the hits, runs, and RBIs if you wanted to. But I'm going with another fantasy score here, and that is going to be Gunnar Henderson. Under 6 fantasy score, but yet again, it is a little bit better over on Underdog. Even with it being a little bit more favored for some overs, it's still a better hit rate on the under here for Gunnar Henderson and a 6.5 fantasy score compared to 6 on PrizePicks. And by the way, if you're not on Underdog yet, you can use promo code DOMG if you want to go ahead and join. Again, helps me out, helps you out. You get a couple of promos. But you see that Gunnar Henderson has actually been under his fantasy score or he's only been over in 45% of games. PrizePicks still over in 45%, but he has pushed that twice, as you see there. And the Orioles are expected to have a pretty tough time now against Jacob deGrom and the Texas Rangers. You can see that his hit, runs, and RBIs line today is only like a minus 105 on the over. Against Rays this year, he's been over his hit, runs, and RBIs in 50% of games. But you see here how the matchup kind of is for him. Like, he is a little bit better against righties, while deGrom is a little bit worse against lefties. But deGrom is such a strong pitcher, and he still has not had a hit in 5 plate appearances against Jacob deGrom in the past. Those mainly the fastball, the slider, a little bit of the changeup in the curveball, but mainly the fastball and the slider. Gunnar has a 346 on-base average. Fastball does go up just slightly to a 392. Slider, though, goes down to a 246 and, of course, increases that strikeout percentage as well, which is good for us. We don't want that ball to be in play. So I think Gunnar Henderson's going to have a tough time in this spot, considering he has not had a hit against deGrom, and he really struggles against that slider, which Jacob deGrom has a nasty slider. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a pretty tough time for Gunnar Henderson, as well as the Orioles overall. And in losses this year, he has struggled a little bit, going over in only about 35% of games, as you see there, and 35% still in his last 20, and even worse in his last 10 games, going over in only 3, which that game scored 2 runs, that game scored 8 runs, and that game scored 3 runs. We won't be seeing an 8-run game here from the Orioles tonight. So those are my 3 plays in this video. Let's hopefully get another sweep. You can see here that like I talked about earlier, like Andy Pahi's over 5 fantasy, Junior Caminero over 6.5 fantasy, and Gunnar Henderson under 6.5 fantasy on Underdog. So that's pretty much going to do it, though. We are not done with the free plays yet, though, but a couple of reminders to not miss out and joining the DubClub if you have not already. There's a link available in my description to get you a special discount. Don't pay full price. When you get in with that discount, that'll pop up at the bottom of your screen. It'll be a banner. All you got to do is just click on claim. You can see here, though, that you get access to all my premium channels in the Discord. There's so much available to you if you do want to join the Discord or the DubClub. But you also can actually get a free month of my DubClub if you happen to use promo code DOMG on an app that I'm affiliated with, whether that's Sleeper or Underdog, or any of these other apps that you can see right here. All you have to do is to take a screenshot and send that to domgpropsvip@gmail.com, and I could send you back a free month of my DubClub just like that. But here's some more free plays from the Daily Grind tool. This tool can show off the best expected value plays on an app like PrizePicks or Underdog. Right now on PrizePicks, they like some plays for some League of Legends. They also like some other plays too available, like Jacob deGrom under fantasy, Paul Skeens under fantasy. There's some other value too here, like Edward Cabrera under strikeouts, for example. If you click on the refresh button, it pulls the most up-to-date value plays out of the board just like that. And if you want to find a certain play type on PrizePicks, you just click on plus VP plays, and you can filter down to a 2-pick power play or maybe a 5-pick or 6-pick flex, whatever your favorite type of play type is. It is that easy. Go get the tool for yourself in my description by clicking on the fantasy bundle and scrolling down. Use promo code DOMG. There's another tool available from the same guy sold separately called the AS Generator, which is over 24 units of profits this last year. And there's 21 slips currently on the board for apps like PrizePicks, for example. A lot of PrizePicks is on the board, as well as apps like Rebat. And usually there's like Underdog and stuff on this too. If we refresh here, you can see there's been one added slip there, but looks like it's just probably rebet or another PrizePicks slip. This is a 6-pick flex that they like. It contains some values for a lot of League of Legends, as well as some MLB value, like Christopher Sanchez over strikeouts and Cabrera under strikeouts. Profit margin is huge at a 54.24%. If you click on PrizePicks right there, it puts into PrizePicks for you just like that. Go get this tool for yourself by description, but this time clicking on the slip generator and scrolling down, be sure to use promo code DOMG. Thank you for watching. So for the next video, best of luck. If you want to make over $5,000 of profit on PrizePicks, watch this video on your screen right here.